Now that we updated the ICO.png file inside of Photoshop, what we're ready to do is essentially attach that class to our previous and next buttons that we have here inside of the HTML document. In order for us to do that, we're going to surround this text with a span tag. And we're going to apply the ICO class, which we used previously for the social icons. And if you're not familiar with the class, just go into your HTML editor, find that class to see exactly what properties are associated with it. The main one being the background property points to that ICO.png file that we just updated in the last movie. So what we want to do here is go ahead and create a span tag set. Within this span tag, though, we're going to use the class attribute and assign it the ICO class, but we're also going to create another class that's going to help us position this content, which I'm going to go ahead and type in ICO-ARR-left. Then, of course, we can close off the span element, and we want to do the exact same thing for the next button. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this span tag and paste it in front of the next button and update this second class name from ICO-ARR-left to ICO-ARR-right. So once that's updated, just make sure that the span tag is in fact closed after next. And that's all you really need to do inside of the HTML. So go ahead and save it, come back to style.css, and inside of style.css, what we need to do is create those classes that we were just referencing earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and type in a class that will give us the ability to set the width and the height. So we'll type in span. Actually, I'm going to get out of these hello ID selectors. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. And here, I'll go ahead and type in span. And again, the position of it doesn't really matter. It's just trying to stay somewhat organized here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in span.ico-arr-left. And then we're going to add a comma and type in span.ico-arr-right. Then we want to establish the width and the height, and they're both going to be the same, which is why we're creating this selector like this. The height is going to be 19 pixels, as you know from the last movie, and the width is going to be 12 pixels. Now what we need to do is we need to set the background position of the ICO.png file so we're not seeing a Twitter icon or a Facebook icon, but rather the left arrow and the right arrow. So let's go ahead and type in span.ico-arr-left. And what we want to do here is set the background position. Remember, the background's already being set by the ICO class, so we don't have to make reference to ICO.png. All we have to do is control the position of it. So in this case, where we're dealing with the left arrow, we want the position to be 0, and then we want it to be 16 pixels. So that's basically pushing the image down 16 pixels, but leaving it on the left-hand side, which is exactly what we want. So then we're going to go ahead and copy this class and paste it. And we're going to go ahead and type in right. I think I called it a class, which I suppose is fine, but it's really a rule that we're working with here. And what we want to do is set this to negative 12 pixels. So that's going to move it over to the left. And we want to set it to negative 16 pixels. Actually, we want both of these to be negative 16 pixels because we need to move it up. So that looks pretty good. I think we're in good shape. If not, we'll just come back and mess around with these numbers here, but those numbers should be correct. If you go ahead and save the style.css file, you can come back to index.html and take a look at it inside of your WebKit-based browser like Chrome or Safari. And there you go. You have the left arrow and the right arrow. Now, if you wanted to, you could create these images as transparent graphics. And the way that we positioned our initial background, which remember it matched the background that you were seeing here, the mouse over could reveal the pattern that you see when you mouse over these custom buttons if these arrows had a transparent background instead of a white background. But I'm happy with the white background. This pretty much wraps up the hello section of the layout. What we need to do in the next chapter is take a look at this section of the layout where we have several different images and links under those images. That's what we're going to do in the next chapter.